Rio Tinto legally destroy Native Australian Aboriginal historical site with artefacts dating back 46,000 years.
Here's a summary of the article.
Indigenous rock art in the Spear Valley region shows a turtle carved into a rock. After outcry from traditional owners about an administrative error with the act, the federal government reviewed the decision and FMG later amended its proposal to continue development without impacting the cultural sites. Mr. Ashburton said the PKK people were now working with Rio Tinto to safeguard the remaining rock shelters in the Duukan Gorge. Mr. Hayes said changes to the Aboriginal Heritage Act were long overdue to better protect Aboriginal sites, and he urged other traditional owners to take another look at their own agreements. Our experience, it's something that we have learned from, and we didn't believe that we would ever be in this position, he said. I would encourage other traditional owners to ensure that their mining proponents, whoever is doing any mining activity on their country, that they understand what they are getting themselves into and do everything they possibly can to protect their sacred sites.
This post received a score of 38,000, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Rio Tinto is widely regarded as, and that's saying something. Interestingly enough, it's also the biggest private mining company in the world. An award that was sponsored by the also known for their ethical behavior Tate and Lyle. This method of deflecting criticism by way of, hey, we can't be bad, we just got this awesome prize for ethics, is referred to as
Rio Tinto is basically the RDA from Avatar.
Whilst Rio are indeed absolute pricks, they are no different from any other mining company operating in Australia at the moment. The only record that they ever existed is filed away by the mining companies and forgotten, which is totally within the law as it is currently written. The government doesn't care because the nation is addicted to mining royalties. The mining companies make sure the sites are well and truly destroyed long before any kind of academic record is published, ensuring mine expansion can go ahead unhindered.
I was a little confused as to why my archaeology degree has a mandatory class on the history of Aboriginal rights in Australia, which seemed so specific when I enrolled for next semester. While Indigenous rights are massively important for archaeologists to study, I'm at an American university and you'd think we'd have a mandatory class on our homegrown natives instead. I have some insight now.
Shitcunts. Every single human alive today lost something when this went down. This was their heritage more than anybody else's, but at 46,000 years old the site would have held clues to a period when humans were still very much in the process of becoming human. This site contained clues to a unified human past, to pieces of our history that pertain to everybody. For fucking iron. Iron is literally everywhere.
Looking at the National Heritage Criteria. I don't understand how this didn't qualify, but convents and old houses do.
They weren't white enough.
Seriously, have they thought about fixing that?
Yes. Unironically, non-sarcastic yes. The largest stain on Australian history is the treatment of First Nations peoples.
Same with the United States history. Basically every country treats the native people like shit.
Canada, of course, had our residential schools, but even within the last 10 to 15 years, we have sterilised Aboriginal women, we've refused to acknowledge murders of thousands of Aboriginal women, and refused to provide drinkable water on reserves. Us white people have done terrible things towards Aboriginal folk of all stripes.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.